Mariners Spring Training on Root Sports is presented by Delta Airlines. Keep climbing.
Plenty of sun and baseball. Sure signs of spring in Arizona. And today, the Mariners return to Root Sports for the 2016 season. It's Cactus League action featuring your Seattle Mariners and the world champion Kansas City Royals from Peoria. Hey everybody, I am Brad Adam. Now, if you've been following us on social media the past couple of months, and I hope you have, at Real Brad Adam, I could use the followers, then you know today is a big day, a special day for us here at Root Sports. It is the debut of our new set and studio. Now, to make that happen, we spent the entire offseason working here from our temporary desk inside our newsroom. Right after our college football coverage wrapped up in November, our crew went to work tearing down the old set. Removal didn't take long where Angie, Jen, and I used to sit, but the work was just beginning. We varnished the floors, did some painting. A few weeks ago, two 53-foot trucks pulled up and delivered our new studio pieces, and crews went to work installing LED lights, a desk, 52 panes of glass, and 29 flat-screen monitors, all bigger than mine at home, and plenty more. It does look absolutely amazing, but don't take my word for it. Let's find out how amazing it looks. They have not allowed me inside the studio until right now, so we get to go in together. And we get to go down this hallway where Jen, Angie, and I have gone down so many times before to do shows. But it's different. Obviously, a new set, a new Mariners season. You can kind of feel the excitement, the anticipation building up. I just hope that Bill and Dave know where to go and where to sit. We'll find out. Wow, they were not kidding. This is spectacular. Look at those monitors. So much more room here. This was actually where our old desk used to be, but now look at the room, the toys we have to play with, the lights, the new set over there. Oh, Mr. Valley, Mr. Kruger, you made it. You found it. No problems getting to the new set?
And it wasn't easy, Brad, but the best thing about this beautiful place is that we're going to have some space and some room to roam around, maybe do some demos.
I'm a little concerned, though. Are we going to have to be better? We're going to have to raise our game?
To match the new studio? Is that possible, though? All right. As we think about raising our game, we do have to think about new rules. New set comes with new rules and responsibility. And remember, I'm just the messenger. Don't get mad with me. Two of them that I know about. The rumor's true, Val. No food on the set.
Yeah, I did hear that. I was hoping that that was going to change, but that's really disappointing because I can't have any pizza out here on the set.
Got to wait till
only at Safeco.
At Safeco, exactly. Yes, yes. Mr. Kruger, for you, no shorts.
I didn't get the memo.
We're full-length demonstration areas. Pants, shoes required.
We're going to have a sidebar discussion
about this. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about baseball, of course, with you guys. Maybe wardrobe, new set, of course, in just a second. But time now to hear from two other members of our team. As we get closer to first pitch in our spring debut telecast, a sidebar involving one of our own. During the offseason, Mariners announcer Dave Sims learned that he was struck by prostate cancer. The good news is that Dave caught it in time, had a successful operation and recovery, which is great for you, Dave. Of course, we're all pulling for you. Great news. With that, we happily send you to Arizona to Dave and Mike Blowers.
All right, Brad, thank you very much. Thank you, and thank you to everybody in the Mariners Nation and people who have reached out via social media with their best wishes. I feel great and looking forward to another terrific season. And, Mike, thanks so much for your support and all the guys, too.
Well, it was a scary situation for a while there, but as I've told everybody when I heard the news that you were going to be diligent about your recovery, that I expected you to be down here, and the last time I talked to you on the phone, I said, Dave, are you going to be down here on time? Absolutely on time, ready to go. So it's good to have you down here in Arizona.
Good to be here. Let's start. We've got a fun camp. I think that's the word that's been the big operative thing we've heard from so many people here with Scott Service. He has run things so far in this first couple of weeks.
Yeah, he wanted to change things up a little bit. Again, a lot of different people here. Of course, the coaching staff, 17 new players on the roster that they're going to have down here, 60 players total, 31 of them weren't with the organization last year. So it came down to his meetings early in the morning. We've seen a few of those. They've had a lot of fun in there. He wanted the guys to get to know themselves right away, just get back into it so that now that they're playing games, they can concentrate on baseball.
It's been terrific. They've even added a pool table. It's the sense of camaraderie has been terrific. They've got a tournament going on in there. Overall, this is a team that's going to be a little bit more speed-oriented and defensively oriented as well.
You're right. Scott Service has given the guys that can run the green light to run, and we've seen a number of games where they've had 5, 6 stolen bases, trying to create something, not waiting around for the 3-run homer. I think that's a good sign. It's something that Jerry DiPoto talked about. And you're also going to see these guys really concentrate on their at-bats. High on-base percentage, something we've heard a lot about. And then the last thing with spring so far, they've been fortunate, healthy. A couple of the relievers have had some last strains. We won't see them over the next couple of weeks, but for the most part, they've been healthy so the guys can get their work in.
A lot of new faces that we're going to introduce you to as we get underway. A first of 16 telecasts here in Root Sports here from the Cactus League. Brad, back to you.
All right, thanks, Mike and Dave. Great to see you guys. A look at Taijuan Walker, who will make his second start of the spring this afternoon. A new number for him. A check of the lineups and the countdown to first pitch. That's next right here on Root Sports. Mariners fans out there on the berm in Peoria getting set. Mariners and Royals. Mariners on the field, which means we're just minutes away, of course. Moments from first pitch. Let's get down there right now to Peoria. It's Dave Sims and Mike Blowers. Gentlemen, welcome to another year of Mariners baseball.
Welcome, everybody. We're inside the stadium here in Peoria. Been waiting for this day a long time. Dave Sims, Mike Blowers. So we get our first telecast underway on a beautiful day, 73 degrees. As we are just past the 1 o'clock hour here in Phoenix. Good crowd on hand. The berm's got a lot of folks out there. And Mike, we're going to see a team that has really been something special. Defending world champions, two-time American League champions. They got a good ball club, Kansas City.
They do a lot of things well. We've talked about it with Kansas City. Of course, you start with their pitching, one of the more dominant bullpens that we've seen, especially last year. But a tough lineup to deal with, too. And we've heard a lot about the Mariners this spring on base percentage, commanding the strike zone. Well, that's exactly what Kansas City has done over the last couple of years.
So Taijuan Walker, 11-game winner last year. Mariners won 15 of his last 20 starts, and we're underway. First pitch. Easy play for Seager. One down.
Alcides Escobar leading off, the talented shortstop, and then it'll be Christian Colon. Lorenzo Cain batting third, former Mariner. Kendrys Morales, he will hit cleanup. Then it's Cody Decker, the DH this afternoon. Travis Snyder playing right field, he'll bat sixth. Then it's Raymond Fuentes, Hunter Dozier, and Drew Butera doing the catching and rounding out the nine for the Royals.
Quick one out here. Here's Christian Colon, ball outside for Taijuan Walker. He'd like to make his 30-35 starts this year without any restrictions. Last year, shut him down after September 14th. Ground ball, well played. Montero looking good down there.
Well, for Taiwan this afternoon, trying to get 3 innings from him, maybe 45 to 50 pitches. His first outing, he went a couple of innings, threw a lot of fastballs, also mixed in his changeup. Didn't see many breaking balls from him, so I'd be curious to see if this afternoon maybe he throws a few more breaking balls.
He'll face off against Lorenzo Cain, 2014 ALCS MVP. Mike, you identified this youngster about 3-4 years ago.
Wasn't real tough, Dave. He's a talented young man, runs well.
But he wasn't getting a lot of acclaim. You know, it wasn't like his name was on the tip of people's tongues. But remember the second time we were out there, and you said, I like that guy, I like that guy. And Cain was one of them. Yeah,
Cain was definitely one of them. He had the short swing, doesn't try to do too much. He does have some power, runs extremely well. And that'll be a base hit back up the middle.
Young man Rusty Kuntz coaching at first base, telling a story about how he didn't play baseball well into high school. Look at him now.
We'll take a look at this last pitch. Trying to get a fastball in on his hands. Probably ended up middle in as he fights it off back up the middle. Jammed him a little bit. Taiwan in his first outing, his first inning was exceptional. What we saw a lot of from him in spring training last year. In the second inning, fastball started to elevate on him a little bit, so that was one of the things he wanted to work on. Started to throw a few more changeups. So we'll see if he tries to stay down in the zone. So far, 3 ground balls, one of them that base hit by Cain.
There's former Mariner Kendrys Morales. A couple of stints with the ball club. How about Taiwan last year at this time? Simply dominant, and it didn't carry over into the early part of the regular season.
Well, I wonder sometimes, and it's part of the maturity, Dave, for him. He, as you mentioned, dominant in spring training, going right after guys trying to make the ball club. And then the season started and maybe trying to be a little careful, which was not the case in spring training. In the second half, he started to do that again, more aggressive with his fastball. There's a good break ball, miss off the plate. Mariners have the shift on. We've seen that quite a bit here early in spring training. Scott Service, the new manager, moving guys around. You take a look at the shift. Kyle Seager out there at the shortstop position. Cano out on the grass.
Yesterday over in Goodyear, shift worked several times. Scott Service and his staff, boy, they keep the totals up to date on that. How many times it went on the shift? A couple of game we did on radio last week, it was a high percentage, and then as his baseball's going to happen, you're going to get the other way too, or it ain't going to work.
Yeah, it hurt Paxton a couple of times. Peralta was hitting a couple times, hitting the ball the other way against the shift. Was able to beat it. But like Scott has said all spring, they are going to move the infield around, and it's just to increase the guy's opportunity to field ground balls. You're not always going to have it right. Sometimes they're going to hit against it.
2 outs, a man at first, a 2-2 count to Morales. And he beats the shift. Nelson Cruz in his first outfield action gets it back in.
We'll take another look at it. You can see the shift is on. Marte, the shortstop, playing around the right side of the infield, but he's able to get that ground ball to work its way through the shift. And I wonder if Scott, if he counts that as a plus or a minus, as you mentioned, keeping score, because they had the shift on. He hit it into the shift. It just found a hole on that side. I bet that's a plus for him.
It's a non-roster player, Cody Decker. Got it from San Diego. He went 0 for 11 in 8 games with the Padres last year. First telecast of the spring, and here we are on the 9th of March, Mike, and it's still a get-to-know-you process with all the new guys on the ball club, the new coaching staff. Each day in the clubhouse to try to pick out 1 or 2 guys. Hey, how are you? Good to see you.
It's going to take some time. If you consider that there are 60 players in camp, and
right,
31 of them were not with the club at the end of last year.
Man.
There's a lot of new bodies, and you mentioned it. Scott Service, his entire coaching staff. Getting to know those guys, front office.
Here's 1-1 pitch. One theme and we talked about it in the open, but as I talk to guys bouncing around, meeting them here and there, they say the thing they like about this camp, it's fun. Getting the work in, hardcore, but keeps the license. A couple of guys said there's 5, 10, 15-minute meetings they have every morning at 9 o'clock are tremendous. Part of it, this first few days, get up Tell me who you are, where you're from, what you like. Give me your up moments, your down moments. What do you like to do? What are your hobbies? And that's how the whole pool. That's Mel Stottlemyre Jr. right there, pitching coach. That's how and Scott Service on the right, how the pool table developed, and that's a heck of an interesting story there. We got March Madness upon us now. You want to talk about a March Madness bracket? They have the pool tournament in the clubhouse. That's the biggest bracket I've ever seen.
Well, you have to get familiar with each other, and I think that for Scott, he said he was going to do things a little bit differently in this camp, and he has done that, and I think it's provided the guys an opportunity to get to know each other quickly.
Mel's very enthusiastic about this group of pitchers he has. And a swing and a miss. Decker Cade here to end a first inning threat. Royals leave 2. Mariners coming up. Good to have you with us. The sights, the sound of spring training in Peoria. Mariners coming to bat.
Welcome back as the Mariners get set to bat here at the bottom of the first inning. Take a look at the lineup. We've got Marte leading off, followed by Seager, Cano, Cruz in right field, Goody in left, Montero, we saw him at first, Iannetta, Sanchez, and Martin to round out the 9 for the Mariners. Martin in the box right now. Let's get back to Dave and Mike.
All right, Brad, thank you so much. Matt Stram. This pitch fouled off by Ketel Marte. Good spring so far in the early going. 5th game for Marte, 4 for 8. He's got a stolen base. Well played by Escobar, 1 down. Here's one of the core guys on this Mariner ball club, Kyle Seager. It's interesting, again, you talk to the new guys and they said, man, I like this clubhouse. Talking to Justin DeFreitas today, pitcher trying to make the club, and he couldn't say enough about Felix, Cano, Cruz, and Seager. They're good guys to be around, as we know. Right. And, you know, the example of hard work and just being good people. So, anyway, Matt Strom working quickly. Wade Miley pitched a couple of days ago. He was every 8 seconds at first inning. Faster than Mark Burley.
Well, they're hoping to get 200 innings out of him this year. Kyle off to a good start. Just 9 at-bats, but 3 hits, including a home run. He's driven in 4. Hit a long home run to right center field a couple of days ago.
Home run totals go up every year. Got to love that. 3-1.
It's been rare. You rarely see a player that breaks in, and every year, Kyle's 3 years in a row where his numbers improve every year. Batting average, home runs.
You wonder what he's going to do this year.
One theme I know when I've talked to Nelly and talked to Robbie Cano, first thing we always talk about, stay healthy.
Yes.
Nice backhand. Cologne throws him out. 2 down. The 2 away here, and the Mariners home first on this beautiful Wednesday. And it is great to see a healthy Robinson Cano stand in. You know about the great second half, and you got to tip your cap to the guy. Hit .331, about 15 homers second half with a double hernia. Goes to Philly in October, has the operation. And when I got here last week, he said, I'm about 99%. I think he's 100 now because the last home game, he hit a line drive over the bullpen in right field.
Well, he's 4 for 10 on the spring, including that home run. Well, a lot of people think about the first month, 2 months of the season where he struggled, but you look at his overall numbers from last year. He ended up hitting .287 with 21 home runs.
Yeah. Ricky Martinez working a lot with Robbie and everybody else, and certainly was an uptick in Mariner hitting once Edgar came on board as hitting coach. Two balls, 1 strike. And again, I can't tell you how many times I fielded questions during the offseason. What's wrong with Cano? I said, what do you mean, what's wrong? Are you kidding me? 330, 31 second half. Yeah. They put up numbers. Come on.
One more like that. Come on.
You guys had him. I think you guys were talking about it on the Cactus League radio show on Monday. Recently, I should say. And, you know, he was on with on Cairo. That's what it was. And they talked about the whole Andy Van Slyke thing. And he said it didn't, you know, he just let it go. Just Andy talking about he's the worst 3-hole hitter. Come on. Get out of here. It came out right after. That came out during the postseason, I guess. It was a little bit after the postseason.
I doubt Robbie gave it a second thought.
3-2 pitch. Mariners will see Kansas City again on March 19th, be over in Surprise, and then back here on March 28th. Then Kansas City will come to Seattle April 29 through May 1, and then we'll be in Kansas City July 7 through 10, wrap up the first half of the season. Split squad for Kansas City. So no Hosmer and Moustakas. World champion Kansas City Royals, and Don Wakamatsu, the acting manager here today. Ned Yost, skipper with the rest of the ball club. And a foul tip into the glove of the catcher, Drew Butera. And Cano goes down on strikes. We go to the second inning here on a sunny day here in Arizona. Glorious weather. Temperature in the 70s. Back with more in a moment.
The Mariners
Complex here in the northwest suburbs of Phoenix. We welcome into Cactus League Baseball, Mariners and the Royals today. And right now, first time this season, we welcome in Bill Kruger to join us on the broadcast. Bill, good to hear your voice, and just wondering what your expectations are of Taijuan Walker this season.
Well, I think he's going to get past the struggles that he had early in the season last year. He really pitched defensively. I think you're going to see an aggressive Taijuan Walker, much more confident in his abilities, has a much clearer game plan as he goes about his business. I'm interested to see what he's going to do with his repertoire, Dave. I've heard a lot about him working on a two-seam fastball. I think that's a great decision, a pitch that I think he can acquire pretty easily that allow him to get some ground balls, some early contact, and save the rest of his arsenal as he goes deeper into games. And we'll see. I mean, I know he wants to throw 200 innings, but, you know, you're going to have to pitch well to do that.
Down low to Travis Snyder out of Mill Creek, Washington's Jackson High School.
Well, and Bill, along those lines, one of the things we know about Taijuan, even through his struggles last year, was his ability to throw strikes. He threw a lot of strikes, and that's pretty impressive when you think about a power right-handed pitcher as young as he is. But as far as the breaking ball goes, where do you think that he needs to go with his breaking ball at this point?
Well, the challenge of throwing the curveball is you just can't decide to use it 4 or 5 times a game. It's a difficult pitch to acquire, and you've got to throw it a lot to be good at it. So he's going to have to make a deep commitment to that pitch. And if he really doesn't want to do that, then I would think a slider would be a better choice. But we'll have to see how it all comes together for Taijuan.
Well, this is a good pitch right here. It looked like a changeup to get Travis Snyder. Back-to-back strikeouts for Taijuan Walker.
Well, I think with Taijuan, I think that Bill is right. I don't think we're going to see the struggles early on, at least consistently. And if you think about it with Taijuan last year, it's when he had men on base early, Dave. It's when he really was getting hit. And I think that he's been able to figure that part of it out, and I don't worry about his command. I expect him to work ahead of hitters, and with as good as his changeup, and we just saw the changeup on the strikeout right there. If he can mix in a slider, I agree with Bill. If he can get a slider to move away from the right-handers, I think that he could be really dominant. And I do like the two-seamer also. We'll see if he throws many of them today.
He doesn't want to be good. He wants to be dominant. Conversations I've had with him.
That's a good breaking ball.
And Mel Stoudemire, just starting to work with him, is impressed out of the gate.
We talked about his ability to throw his fastball in the mid-90s, and that's a good curveball. Gets him to swing over the top of it. So you don't necessarily have to throw your curveball for a strike, especially if you can speed him up. And with Taijuan's ability to pitch inside, you're going to see quite a bit of that, I think.
There's Mel Jr. Talked to Mel last week. Glad to report that Mel Sr. is doing very well health-wise. Over the years, he's battled myeloma, and said this count is down to next to 0 and is doing quite well. So we look forward to seeing Mel Sr. at the ballpark at some point. Here's a little looper going back for it is Cano in a 1-2-3 inning. Nice clean inning for Taijuan Walker. A couple of changeups, breaking balls, looking good. We go to the bottom of the second. We'll get a look at Nelson Cruz when we come back. looking north here in Phoenix. Good to have you with us on Root Sports. Good look at the boomstick. Nelson Cruz standing in. Kept out of some early action. A little soreness in the knee, but nothing major.
Only 5 at-bats for him so far in the spring. Start the other day, he hit the ball about as hard as you can and not picking up a hit. Lined out to the left fielder. Getting a chance to play some right field today.
Nelson has been absolutely spectacular the last 2 years. 84 home runs. 201 runs batted in. Hits this one to the backhand side. Colon will throw him out. One away here in the second. Hey, fans, if you're still looking for tickets to next month's home opener, then visit mariners.com/opening night. You're going to find information on how you can guarantee your seat by purchasing a 10-game flex pack or 20-game plan. Check it out today at mariners.com/opening night. There's Felix Hernandez. Had a sim game today, 2 innings, struck out 5 of the 7 men. The first 7 that he faced, and then got a ground out. He was happy with it, and he'll get his first start next Monday against the Rockies.
They threw 30 pitches this afternoon, or this morning, excuse me. Taking their time with him. He kind of has his own program when you think of Felix and all the innings that he's pitched over the years. Doesn't have to pitch a lot down here in spring training to get ready for the season.
6-time All-Star. You notice the new color on the goatee. Nelson Cruz was wearing him out when he got here last week. There's a fly ball to center field that Kane will camp under. Goody's going to join us after he gets his at-bats today. It's pretty cool the last few days. His dad was here. How cool is that? You're a major league. You got your dad hanging around with you in the clubhouse with the boys, shooting a breeze, doing all the stuff. It was really cool to watch.
It's one of the great things about spring training. A lot of these guys have their families here, and it's a lot of fun.
That's going to be you one day, pal. One of your guys got a shot. You got a shot.
We'll
you
see.
never know.
You never know.
It's Jesus Montero.
Jesus fighting for a job.
Man, I cast the thousands for that right-hand platoon first baseman. The Dejo Lee gentleman, he's like 33 years old. You're going to like him. He's 6'4", 260, and had a great game yesterday. Montero, as you can see, continues to work hard. He looked like this last year, and it was a big change, dropping about 30, 40 pounds. He's made a couple plays at first base this week.
3 for 12 so far on the spring. Has a double. Yeah, you look at Montero. You mentioned Lee, Gabby Sanchez. I think Stephen Romero is going to get an opportunity to play some first base here in spring. We've seen him in the outfield. Number of guys that are trying to figure out how they're going to make that work, with Adam Lynn getting most of the work at first.
Two and two. Matthew Strom, 6'4", 180, out of West Fargo, North Dakota, 24 years old. Royals' 21st round pick back in 2012. Montero's gone, and that'll do it for the Mariners. No score here in Peoria. Fence here at Peoria. We welcome in Dave Valley right now. And Dave, a question to you as we speak to you for the first time this season. New catcher for the Mariners, Chris Iannetta, comes over from the Angels. Veteran guy's also been with Colorado. What's the challenges that he faces as a starting guy handling a new pitching staff in the same division that he's competed in for the last few years?
Well, it's great to hear you guys, and welcome back to baseball again. It's good to be talking about the great game that we're all involved in. But as I look at Chris, you know, one of the challenges that he has is trying to get to know an entirely new staff.
There's a fly ball deep center field, and that's a home run. It hit over the yellow line. Second base umpire out there, Brian Knight. So a home run for Drew Butera, with just one home run last year in 55 games with the Angels in Kansas City, 1-0 Royals.
But for Chris, the most important thing is for him to get to know each and every one of these guys. So I'm sure you guys have already seen him working and trying to get out there, catching guys down in the bullpen, making sure pitchers are comfortable seeing him back behind the plate, finding out from each individual pitcher, you know, where do you like me to set up? Do you like me to really move out there on the outside corner? Do you want me to set up down the middle? And then you work your pitches, trying to find out how guys think, how they go about their strategy with the game, what they like to throw when they're behind in the count, what's their favorite go-to pitch, perhaps when it's a full count. Do they have confidence in throwing off-speed pitches? So those are the things that Chris has to do, and you're going to do that in the bullpen when they're having their throwing sessions. But a lot of it's going to take place like during batting practice when they're out in outfield. And you just kind of go mosey up next to them and you start getting them in conversation. It's going to be happening in the locker room before and after. It's a lot of work for a new guy. But as you mentioned, he is in the same division. So he knows a lot about these guys because he's faced them over the last couple of years.
Hey, Val, when these guys are on their game as far as the starters go, and Taijuan going today, it's pretty easy to sit back there and figure things out. But how long does it take as a catcher when you're not familiar with the staff and you're trying to get to know them, and all of a sudden these guys are in their third start in April and they're struggling to have a key or two to get them through 5-6 innings when you have to?
Yeah, a big key to that is going to be Mel Stottlemyre Jr. getting together with the pitching coach and finding out, okay, hey, we need to understand how these guys tick. You know, each personality is so different from the next. I think of, you know, the different guys that I've caught, from a Randy Johnson to a Scott Bankhead. Two totally different styles. One left-hander, one right-hander, one completely focused in Scott Bankhead. But, you know, Randy, when he was young, was kind of a little bit off center, you know, a couple of ticks off center. So you've got to get to know those things and try to figure out when they are not on track, how do I get them back on track? And I think Mel Stottlemyre Jr. is going to be a great benefit for Chris Iannetta in that way.
Well, I think the other thing, too, Val, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like you were talking about, he's familiar with the West, having been in Anaheim. But the other part is he's very familiar with Scott Service, a former catcher, Jerry DiPoto, and he knows what those guys want. That has to be a little bit calming for him in that respect when he's trying to learn all these pitchers. He knows that these guys know what he's capable of doing behind the plate. Yeah,
I think that's a great point. Because they've been together back with the Angels, you know, Scott knows what Chris brings to the table. And for Chris, coming into a new situation, it's really not a new situation because the skipper and the general manager know him. It's not like he's showing up on a new team saying, okay, I got to show everybody what I'm capable of doing. This is a guy who has performed before for those guys, so there's no kind of, I need to impress them coming into a new situation.
Strikeout victim number 5 as Colon couldn't check his swing.
And it looks like Taijuan has a much better feel for his changeup today. Again, in his first outing, he started to elevate it a little bit, which hurt him. But today he's done a nice job keeping the ball down in the zone, at times able to bounce it when he wants to get a swing like you just saw.
Face Lorenzo Cain now got a base hit on a 1-1 pitch, first time up. Home run by Drew Butera leading off this inning, 1-0 Kansas City. Wind blowing straight out here today. This no doubt will be Taijuan's last inning, 3 innings. Curveball. Bounce to Seager. gives up a home run to Butera. Kansas City's got a 1-0 lead. When we come back, Iannetta, Sanchez, and Martin. Royals lead 1-0. By 30 of the Seattle Mariners, it may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. Good look at White Tank Mountain, about 20 miles west of here, as we look at Chris Iannetta fouling off a pitch from Matt Strom. Iannetta, the starter, starting catcher for the Mariners with Mike Zunino. He'll open up the season in Tacoma. And for Iannetta, 2 years ago, .373 on base percentage, best among major league catchers. Last year, batting average fell way off, 188. And talking to him earlier, he said it seemed like he was perpetually 0-2. You know, 0-2 count the first 2 months last year, just jumping at everything.
And if you look at the numbers across Major League Baseball, 0-2 counts, the batting averages are not good. Really makes it tough on yourself. And so hopefully that'll change for him, getting some hitters counts.
1 for 6 coming into this at bat. Got a full count. Strom, a quick worker. He struck out 2. Retired the first 6 men that he's faced. Gabby Sanchez on deck. And a good eye by Iannetta. And right now we check in with Brad Adam at the Ford Sports Desk.
Well, Dave, thank you. A pair of lefties taking the mound tomorrow on Root Sports. Again, it's our Mariners spring training coverage. Our CenturyLink What's Next? Former Bellarmine Prep star John Lester goes for the Cubs, while Wade Miley makes his second turn for the Mariners. Our coverage from the Peoria Sports Complex starts at noon Pacific. It will be our first look at Miley, who knows he's got a vital role this season with his new team. Guys?
All right, Brad, thank you. I'll tell you what, Wade Miley on the mound, don't take your eye off the screen or take your eye off the mound if you're in the ballpark. The young man's going to work quickly.
It was one of the things that Scott Service was talking to me about this morning, is how quickly he works, likes to throw a lot of strikes. And I think the biggest thing for him is taking some of the pressure off the rest of the starting rotation, because he has the ability to throw 200 innings, and that gives your bullpen a break. You know, if you need to get some of the guys out a little bit earlier, you can do that, because you know that Wade is going to work a little bit deeper in the game. So that's a nice luxury to have.
His college coach told him, you know, work a little bit quicker, see what happens. And then he discovered Mark Burley along the way, and he said, hey, this is working pretty good. And he says, the only reason I get slowed up is if somebody's out of position or the guy steps out of the box. I'm ready to go all the time. I don't care what you put down. I'm talking about the catcher. Broken bat pop-up. Escobar, the glasses on, makes the catch. Gabby Sanchez is retired.
Guys that do that, Dave, it's a lot of fun to play defense behind them.
Roger that.
Constantly on your toes, into the game.
Hey, you don't have a chance for your mind to wander, right?
Work fast, throw strikes.
Here's Leonys Martin. You're going to like him. Get to the ballpark early and watch the guys do their pregame drills and just watch this guy throw. I got to believe every third base coach in the American League is going, oh, wait a minute, he's with the Mariners now? Got to make sure you better have the right guy on motoring trying to score on this guy from when the ball hit the center field.
You're going to see that third base coach put the stop sign up a lot with him.
Yep. Manny Acta, Mariners' new third base coach, former manager with Cleveland and Washington, and Casey Candell at first base, Houston Astro and Montreal Expo. Oh boy, Mariners will take advantage of that. Iannetta will get the third. Fielder's choice E1.
Take another look at it. Right back to him. No problem there. And you can see Escobar holding his glove up, and it's almost as if, yeah, he just didn't throw it firm enough. He was waiting on Escobar just to get to the bag and then throwing it into the runners.
During your day, when you saw balls going back to the pitcher and they had a play like that, did you start going?
Everybody does. I can tell you this: when I first came to the big leagues as a third baseman,
right?
I remember Bucky Dent telling me as Marte lifts this out to right.
Iannetta tagging, and he'll score and tie the ball game. As Tel Marte gets the job done. Russell, Earl, Bucky Dent.
Bucky Dent. One of the first things he told me is, if you can get the pitcher out of the way, do it every time. It's not to say that there aren't some really good fielding pitchers. Obviously they are, but for the most part, these guys are used to throwing off that mound to home plate, and all of a sudden they have to move around, field their position, and things can get away from them in a hurry, as we just saw.
Not everybody is Greg Maddux or from a previous generation Bobby Shantz. Here's Kyle Seager. Tie ball game at 1-1. Martin breaks the throw, and it's thrown away. Another error by the Royals. So Morales with a bad throw. Mariners take advantage. So another stolen base for the Mariners. That's 11 on the spring.
Well, we've seen them. They're going to be aggressive on the bases. At least they have here at the early going in spring training, and a poor throw by Morales down to Escobar. But you mentioned it, Dave, 11 stolen bases for him now. And one of the things that Scott Service has talked about, especially when he doesn't have his core guys, which Seager, Cano, Cruz, Lynn, when they're not in the lineup, he's going to let them run around. And most of them have the green light to run on their own. He said he's only asked them to steal just a few times. He's left it up to them, and he wants them to show him what they're capable of doing. The other day, we were over in Surprise playing the Rangers, and I think they had 6 stolen bases in that game.
It's a bold approach. Leading the way in stolen bases. Sean O'Malley trying to win the utility job. He's got 4. Martin now has 3. Seager's got a 1-1 count. Go ahead run at second. Kyle gets it into right field. Coming around is Martin. He'll score, and the Mariners have the lead at 2-1. RBI Kyle Seager. And for the Mariner, third baseman, his 5th RBI this spring.
It's one of the areas that, Kyle, we talked about him improving every year, and last year was a really good year for him. Hitting left-handed pitching, it had been a struggle the previous few years, but last year really picked things up as he gets a base hit off of that lefty. Pick up an RBI.
The clock is running. There's a mound visit. It's going to be it's like a change. There is going to be a change. How about that 30 seconds? I like the 30-second clock.
I like it too.
Right? Don't get out there and, hey, read any good books lately? It's not going to work. Take a timeout. pitching change. Come back. Mariners lead 2-1. Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines.
Mariners baseball presented by Delta Airlines. Royals trailing the Mariners 2-1. Pitching change. Time now for a way to tell you how to get involved in our broadcast. It's hashtag Where I Root. Your chance to get on one of these 16 new monitors. How cool is that? Amy, we hope you have a speedy recovery from your ankle surgery. Your chance again to get on. Take part of our new set here as we debut it here on Root Sports. Hashtag Where I Root. Facebook, Instagram. You know how to do it. Let's get back to Peoria. I'm telling you what, guys, everybody looking good and looks better on this new set. You guys are going to love it.
All right. Good stuff. All right, Brad, here's Robinson Cano, and he's facing Scott Alexander, 26-year-old left-hander out of Santa Rosa, California. Robbie, first time up, struck out on a 3-2 pitch. Alexander, 4 games last year, no record, a 4.50 ERA with the Royals. And there's strike 2. Roberto Ortiz has balls and strikes today. Mike Everett, Brian Knight, Ryan Blakeney rotating around the bases this afternoon, your umpiring crew. Butera with a nice save, 1-2. Looking forward to seeing everybody in the home opener when we get back to Seattle. 8th of April against Oakland. 3 games with the A's, 3 with Texas. Open up the home portion of the schedule. Season opener, 4th of April, a day game at Texas, first of 3. Breaking ball. Hit to the second baseman, Colon, and that'll do it for the Mariners. But the Mariners put 2 runs up on the board, take advantage of a couple of errors, get a hit. Seattle's got a 2-1 lead. Cody Martin's going to take over. Rocks in northern Arizona. As we welcome you back to Mariner Baseball. Taijuan Walker, 3 innings of work today. And Mike, your thoughts on his second outing so far?
I thought he was really good today. He had to make an adjustment. We talked about his first outing where he struggled having his fastball and changeup up in the zone for the 1 inning. But today, everything down. You see that good breaking ball down in the dirt to get a strikeout. I think Taijuan commanded his fastball well. There's a good changeup, but overall, 3 innings, 3 hits. He did give up the 1 solo home run. That was on a first pitch fastball, but I thought his off-speed stuff was excellent today. And again, 5 strikeouts, no walks for Taijuan.
Hope to hear from Taijuan as we move forward in this ball game. Hear his comments. Cody Martin takes over, 26-year-old right-hander. He's out of Dos Palos, California, 6'3", 230. With Oakland last year, 4 games, 2 starts, 9 innings, and a record of 0-2. Prior to that, he was with Atlanta earlier in the 15th season, going 2-3, a 5.40 ERA. Kendrys Morales. It's a pitch up high, ball 1.
And the Mariners have the shift on again with Morales hitting, expecting him to pull the ball to the right side of the infield.
For Martin, his second spring appearance. This one hit foul, slicing into the stands. Martin's previous appearance was 5 days ago at Milwaukee, went 2 innings, 1 hit ball, 1 strikeout, faced 6 batters. Nice outing.
When we went on our winter caravan, Cody was on the caravan with me. We went over to Eastern Washington, and he was a big hit when we showed up at Gonzaga in the Spokane area.
I understand Zag's hoop team, men's hoop team, won last night.
They did.
Congratulations, win the conference championship, go to the NCAA tournament. March Madness upon us. 18th consecutive time for Gonzaga. Chop foul. Drew Butera with a leadoff homer in the 3rd. Mariners countered in the home 3rd. A sac fly by Marte, and Seager drove in a run for the 2-1 Mariner lead. Strike 3 called. Good pitch by Martin. There's 1 away here in the top of the 4th. That's a 6th strikeout of a Kansas City hitter. Taijuan Walker had 5 of them. Create your own lineup of great games to catch this season when you purchase Mariners single game tickets, on sale right now. Whether you select marquee matchups or exciting events, you'll be guaranteed a great time as you cheer on Felix Nelson and the boys in blue from your summer home at Safe Go Field. Visit Mariners.com/tickets. Cody Decker DHing today, struck out on a 1-2 pitch. First time up. Pretty good action on that fastball by Cody Martin. Travis Snyder's on deck. Ball misses 2-1. Don't forget, we're on TV again tomorrow. Cubs will be in town. That means no doubt a big crowd. Cubs, the Giants, the Mariners, all 3 fan bases travel really well. Down here in the Cactus League, 2-1. Foul back. See Joe Madden and company, and then we'll see them again regular season. The end of July will be in Windy City. First of 2 trips there. At the end of August, we play the White Sox. And this season, get another look at the Central Division in the National League. How about that division? It was powerhouse. Again, home and home with Pittsburgh. Cardinals come to Seattle. Home and home with the Cubbies. We were talking earlier in the week about that division. Certainly the strength of the National League, although the National League West isn't too shabby either with the Giants ready. It's an even year. Watch out for the Giants. But,
good point.
The Diamondbacks are certainly loaded up. But that Central division's crazy. You can win 90 games and may not get anywhere.
We saw a lot of that last year, and it's just going to stay tough, I think.
Dan Wilson. That's a super competitive division in National League Central. Danny, in uniform all spring, will be a roving catching instructor.
Come on, Decker, one more strikeout.
Seen him a few times this spring, early in the morning, looking at the videotape, watching the guys.
Will it stay fair? No, it will not. The Pavilion, very impressive second year, and they've added some other amenities on third base side just to the left. Good way to enjoy a ball game. Be very social and enjoy a few cold ones out there too. And a Seahawk uni on.
Seeing Dan in the dugout working for the organization, so he'll be here all spring. But another one of the nice things that we've been able to see is some of the alumni showing up. Jamie Moyer was just here. Julio Cruz is here now. Of course, we'll see Jay Buhner towards the end of camp.
I'm told Ken Griffey Jr. will be making an appearance. Breaking ball up high, missed ball 4. Here's a look at Julio Cruz. And Scott Service telling a lot of these young kids, I'm not familiar with him, but he said, hey, he's one of the most prolific base stealers of his time in the major leagues.
Well, you were mentioning it earlier, O'Malley with 4 stolen bases, and he was in the video room with Julio yesterday morning early here at the complex. Julio talking a lot about these guys getting their primary leads and starting to read some pitchers. They all have tells, giving away things, and he wants the guys to be aware of it.
Hit hard. Montero can't handle. Digging for third is Deckert. Snyder. And he is out. They throw him out at second. As Decker went to third, Snyder tried to get the second, and the Mariners throw him out.
We'll take a look at it. He hits it firm. You can see Montero trying to get off the bag after holding the runner. It goes right off the side of his glove, but Cano hustling over.
What a throw. So, Cano with the assist. 4-6 on the play. 2 down, runner at third. Here's Fuentes, the left fielder. Oh, he hammers this one. Right field, 1 hop. Base hit, RBI, 2-2 ball game. Pitch up in the zone, and he made it happen.
It looks like a first pitch fastball. Take a look at it. You're right, Dave. Up and in the middle of the plate.
Brings up Hunter Dozier. First round pick back in 2013. Two ball game as we play here in the top of the 4th. 2-out runner at first. Dozier popped up to Cano in his first at bat. Coming up later in the ball game, looking forward to seeing Daeho Lee get some at bats and play at first base. You're going to like Luis Sardinas. He's going to get his first taste of center field action. He's by trade an infielder, second, third, and short, but he's going to get a chance to spell Martine in center field. And with his ability to run, he's got the good arm. If he can play a little bit of center field and be a good backup there, I'm willing to go out on a limb, say right now, March 9th, he's got this team made.
Scott Service, I was talking to him this morning about it, and there's a number of guys when you look at that utility role on this club. Chris Taylor, of course, is in the mix for that too, and it's going to be important. I think we're also going to see him play a little bit of first base at times, but it's going to be important for them to show that they can play in the outfield if he needs to run them out there. I don't think it's a situation where he wants them to play a lot, but they have to be able to do some things. So in a game as he's managing, if he gets stuck at all, he has some guys that he can bring off his bench that one can run and cover some ground in the outfield. So it'll be interesting to watch him play center field. Down here in Arizona, playing the outfield is not an easy thing. You have the high skies. Typically, the wind is going to blow.
It's 1-0 pitch. And then a throw down the first back safely. Didn't you do a game the other day where it was a white, cloudy sky the entire game?
And the wind was really whipping around, and it was changing directions constantly. It was a tough day for the guys.
Yeah, I would imagine. Another guy who I would think has a real good shot at making the club. We're talking about first base, backup, being there's Romero, because he can play outfield and they can play first base. And he's hit the ball well early on here.
You're right. He's definitely in the mix. I haven't had a chance to see him over at first base yet. I know he's been there, but
yeah, I think back end of games, not a lot of action. He had that freak play. I don't know if you were on that day. But
I wasn't. Heard about it.
I'm telling you, that ball shot out of a cannon. He was breaking back to first base for a back pick. There's a runner at first. Ball hit off his knee, ricocheted to the shortstop for a knee 6-3 double play. It's amazing. I've never seen a ball hit off somebody's knee that hard and that far.
Well, he missed a day or two because of it, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Missed the couple. 3-1 to Hunter Dozier. Breaking ball couldn't make it happen. Second walk issued by Cody Martin. Runners at first and second, 2 outs, a run in. We were talking about earlier the clock. Mel Stoudemire, I noticed that yesterday in the game. He's got something to say, gets out there quickly. You only get 30 seconds to play with, pal. Make it happen.
It was a pretty good jog. He was out there in a hurry.
He's got a good manner. They force a lot of pitching coaches to get in shape. Drew Butera homered. First pitch he saw leading off the third inning for the first run for Kansas City. He's up there now with 2 outs, 2 on. Drew's dead Sal. Played in the major leagues for 9 years with Minnesota, Montreal, Cincinnati, and Toronto. Also a catcher. Martin putting in a lot of work on his curveball here today.
22 pitches so far in the inning for him.
Sixth hitter this inning. 2-1. On our telecast tomorrow, we'll see Wade Miley make another start for the Mariners. For Wade, will be his second appearance. And after today, 15 more telecasts here in the spring. Good to have you with us. 2-1 pitch. Get 3 in 1. There's a marked contrast. The last time Cody Martin was on the mound, he went 2 innings of 1 hit ball, 1 strikeout, no walks. Today, in this inning, he's got a strikeout, 2 walks, giving up a run and a couple of runners on.
He's had a good curveball, but his fastball command just hasn't been there for him.
3-2 the count. Well, there's a good crowd here today. Only about 12,000 here. But they're up in the 8-9 range today easily. 3-2 pitch from Martin. Fouled off. Mariners have the Kevin Vogt working hard as usual with the camera. Cubs tomorrow. Mariners will be at the Giants Friday, and the Dodgers here Saturday in a split squad. The other split squad will be at Cincinnati. 3-2. Hit on the button. Base hit center field by Butera, having a really good afternoon. Fuentes scores. Going to third is Dozier. 3-2 Kansas City lead. 2 RBI day for Drew Butera.
We'll take a look at it right back up the middle. Trying to get a two-seamer in on his hands. Didn't quite get it in far enough. And he fights it off back up the middle. So a couple of walks have hurt Cody Martin this afternoon.
7th man to the plate here in the 4th. Escobar, their outstanding shortstop. 0 for 2 today. Ground out to third and a strikeout. Well, he generated some offense in the playoffs, didn't he? Very impressive. Kansas City beat Houston in the division series 3-2. Toronto 4-2 in the league championship series, and beat the Mets 4-1 in the World Series. 2-0. Dangerous count here, 2-0. Back up the middle. Here's Marte. Flip to Cano, and that'll do it. Damage done, though, by the Royals as they get 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors leave them, man. Royals lead at 3-2.
The Mariners.
Is brought to you by Delta Airlines. Keep climbing. And by Steel. To find your local Steel dealer, visit steeldealers.com. Beautiful day in Peoria. It's about time for ice cream treats. Or is that snow cones? Either one works as we move now to the bottom of the 4th inning. Dave, Mike, you guys get your snow cones yet?
I have them on reserve. You know that. Here's Nelson Cruz to lead it off. Thanks, Brad. And Nelly looks at a strike. Bounced out to second. First time up. Cruz out in front. Strike him out. Throw him out. K2-3. As Cruz is gone, one away. Taijuan Walker joins us right now. Taijuan, 3 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 5 Ks. What did you think of your performance today?
Better than last one. I felt good out there. The game plan with me and I netted two ways was to establish fastball first, pound the zone, and then once we got ahead, just start mixing the breaking balls and stuff.
Taijuan, in your first outing, it was the second inning. It seemed that some pitches were elevated from you today. I thought you did an excellent job of keeping the ball down, especially with your breaking ball and your changeup.
Yeah, definitely. You know, that was the plan. Just working the fastball down. Got a lot more ground balls today, but yeah, just working it down, getting early strikes.
Perfect world. Do you want 30, 35 starts, 200-plus innings?
Yeah, that sounds good.
That does sound good. It sounds great. When you were in camp last year, I talked to you a couple of times, Taijuan, and you were very focused on making the club. Things are a little bit different for you this year. You're going to be in the rotation. What's your mindset coming into spring training? And last year when I asked you if you were working on certain pitches, the answer was always no. I'm here to make a team. Where are you at this year?
Same mentality this year. You know, nothing's guaranteed. So I'm still going out there competing every day. I am working on my breaking ball, and, you know, I felt pretty good today. That's the one pitch I've been really throwing a lot.
Have you been working on that two-seamer a lot? Is that something we're going to see?
A little bit. You know, I'm just trying to take it one pitch at a time. So right now it's just working on the curveball and wait until I get comfortable with that, and then I'll start mixing in the two-seam.
How about the changeup? How's that looking so far?
I felt really good today. I didn't throw very many my first outing, so you know, I had the opportunity to throw a lot today. You know, I felt like I got head in counts 0-2, 1-2, and you know, we really started working that.
Hey, what's it like with the new start, new organization, a whole bunch of new teammates? What's it been like for you?
It's been awesome. You know, everyone's great here. All the new teammates, coaching staff, everyone's awesome. You know, it's crazy. You know, everyone's new, but everyone feels like it kind of feels like we've all been playing together forever.
Have you had a chance to have many conversations with Chris Iannetta yet? He's going to do the catching this year.
Oh yeah. I've been talking to him a lot. Just trying to get to know each other, trying to get a feel for what I like to throw, and, you know, how he sets up, and you know, what he likes to call.
How do you like the way he sets up? How's he as a target?
Oh, perfect. He's a big target. So, you know, my thing is, you know, in the beginning of last year, I was trying to pick the corner. So this year, you know, I just told him just set up, you know, outer half, stay on the plate, you know, and just pound the zone. I mean, I really don't have to pick unless I'm heading the count. But for the most part, just be aggressive with the fastball and kind of keep it more on the plate.
All right. Taijuan, thanks, man.
Yep.
Catch you tomorrow, man. Thanks so much.
Thank you, guys.
Taijuan Walker, 3 innings. Really good work today. As the Mariners are retired 1-2-3 in the 4th. 3-2, Kansas City.
By Delta, Royals taking a 3-2 lead. We move to the top of the 5th inning. Back in our brand new digs, it's Brad Adam, Mr. Bill Kruger, Mr. Dave Valley. We'll get out to Peoria in just a second. But while I've got you guys here, we're talking spring training. It's our first of 16 spring training games. Let's go back to when you guys were playing. Spring training. The best part for you guys about spring training, Bill, going back, getting ready for a season, what was, I guess, the most fun or what you enjoy most about spring training?
Well, I think, first of all, just getting out of inclement weather. Just to get in the sun, feel the sun, get baseball the way it's supposed to be, not throwing off a wooden mound in a gym, okay? So it was nice to get into real conditions, and I like practice. I didn't like shagging too much, but the secret of starting pitching, at least a good part of my career, is that we escaped early and hit the golf course, so that was kind of a nice deal. I don't want to push that too hard with Dave here, but yeah, starting pitchers have it pretty good.
So I should have been a starting pitcher. I would have fit in well with you guys. Let's go back to Mike Blowers joining us here as we go to the top of the fifth and the Royals up to bat. Mike, what did you enjoy most playing days of spring training?
Well, obviously the weather is the biggest plus, and being from the Northwest, and I know what the weather's like up there today for you guys, it's nice to get out in the sunshine. But I think one of the things that's pretty cool, and Val will know a lot about this too, is showing up that first day, seeing the guys again, but all the free stuff that you get. Yeah, your locker is just loaded up. Your locker is loaded up with free stuff. Gloves, shoes, running shoes, bats, all that kind of stuff. I used to love getting all the free gear.
Val, I'm guessing you did too.
You gotta like that free gear, no question about it. I was the Nike guy the majority of my career, so having all those boxes of Nike and getting the new gloves, the glove manufacturers were coming around, and I was a Rawlings guy, so getting those brand new catcher's mitts and starting to break them in.
I was going to say, how long does it take to break those in?
For me, it would take about a week. I would put a couple of baseballs in them, tie them real tight so that the two lips kind of touched, dunk it in the hot tub, and then let it dry in the shower. And then after 2 days, it would dry out, and you'd open it up, and it'd have this nice big pocket. And then I'd take it out to the bullpen and start getting the game ready.
And that was your gamer for the year?
I would typically go through 1.5 gloves per year, but I'd never use my gamer outside of a game. I never used it for practice. It was just my gamer.
Okay. So now, how about as
Can I say what I like? I didn't get a chance to say what I like.
Oh, the free stuff, I thought.
Well, that was
just
gloves. I just tag team with Blow.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, for me, it was getting back with all the guys. You hadn't seen them in 4 or 5 months, and seeing everybody come back together, the excitement, the hope, the desire about having a greater year, and also playing late afternoon golf. There's nothing like being on the golf course in Arizona as that sun is starting to settle in the sky. Just love that. Starting to cool off a little bit. Blow knows a lot about that.
He does. He had a lot of catching up to do with Mr. Blowers out there. All right. Now, you guys, Val as a coach, broadcasters, fans, going to spring training now. What do we like most, Bill Kruger, about spring training now?
Well, I think what they've done in Arizona with all the new facilities and tag-teaming teams together in one ballpark, the amenities are pretty much off the charts. So I think that's the real, drawing point of spring training. And you can see all of the restaurants and stores and shops and all the things to do. Arizona, to me, I think that's the best. I mean, the weather's the best. You get so many more teams close to one another. You can see a lot of baseball in a short geographic distance. So I think those are the real selling points. And if you're a fan, going down to the ballpark early and getting close to the players are much more approachable, so it's great.
All right, Mariners get to the top of the fifth. We're heading to the bottom of the fifth, talking more spring training baseball right here on Root Sports.
Purchase single game tickets at a Mariners team store. You're going to save 10% off regularly priced merchandise like the 2016 Navy alternate road jersey. Gear up for Mariners baseball when you get tickets at one of the 5 convenient team store locations. You may want to queue up Nat King Cole's Route 66 because that's what you're looking at right there in Kingman, Arizona, just northwest of here. One of the many towns that Nat King Cole and that fabulous piece of music talks about, traveling west from Chicago to the West Coast. Good to have you with us here, Mariner Baseball. There's an old school Mariner jersey. Top Dave Sims, Mike Blowers, Root Sports crew on hand here. New pitcher is Peter Moylan. Peter Moylan and Brett Eibner's in center field. Chris Iannetta, Gabby Sanchez, and Leonys Martin here in the 5th. They stayed with that. Hit a bullet, base hit. Chris Iannetta with a hard knock to get things started here for the Mariners.
He's been on base a couple of times, walked his first time up and jumps on this fastball. Barrels it up into left field.
Chris's second hit of the spring. He'll take his leave. Pinch running for him, Ian Miller. Sanchez swings through. Inside for Moylan, and now the festivities really begin when they start moving all kinds of new guys in. Multicolored pens are all fired up. Got new stuff here ready to go. Try to keep track of the numbers.
I tell you, Dave, it makes it tough on us to keep track of all the guys, but I still have a lot of fun watching the kids get a chance to play, especially early in spring training. Ian Miller, as you mentioned, now pinch running, getting a chance to play. It's fun to watch them. They're excited about being out there. But for us to keep track of everybody, it can be difficult at times.
So Peter Moylan, he's on the mound. He's out of Adelaide, Western Australia, 37 years old. And joining us right now, Goody. Franklin Gutierrez is joining us right now. You're looking good in the spring. What's been the big difference for you at getting off to this good start here, Franklin?
Well, how you doing, guys?
Doing all right, man.
You know, I just I got my mentality right now. I'm trying to get in shape right now to get ready for the season. You know, it just I got no pressure. I'm just going out there and trying to do my job.
Franklin, you had a great year last year, but probably along with you hitting the home runs and doing the job that you did, we talked a lot about your overall health. How are you feeling now, and where are you at with that?
Well, it's not much change since last year. You know, right now I'm managing my, the team that I have, and I got my days that I don't feel really good, and I got some days that I feel really good. So it just depends, how I wake up that day, and how I can manage that thing that's keeping me a little bit, tight on my legs and my lower back. But I got to do a lot of things to get ready for the game.
Well, I mean, you're a veteran guy now, and you've been around and you've been through it. Have you had an opportunity to sit down and talk to the new manager, Scott Service, about that? And I know that you were really honest with Lloyd McClendon last year on where you were at from day to day. Have you had a chance to talk to Scott about what the plan is for you?
Yeah, we talk about just a little bit, and I think the key is trying to be honest with myself and with the team too. On the days that obviously that I don't feel good, I'm just trying to take it easy, and but I'm trying to do whatever I can possible to be on the field every day.
Well, I tell you, one thing that's been very impressive, when you've been feeling good, you've driven the heck out of the ball. You drove one over the batter's eye. You drove one to the right of the batter's eye. As you get older, you're getting stronger, huh?
Well, those days I don't feel really good, so that's a weird thing I don't know. Those days when I hit the ball,
Is that right?
Yeah. Those days, I don't know. For some reason, I don't feel really good, but I'm trying to go out there and do the best that I can.
Because those 2 home runs are impressive at any time of the year, man. You cleared the batter right. That was impressive.
Right.
Rango, thanks for your time, man, always, and best of luck.
All right, thank you very much, guys.
Very welcome. Martin swings and misses, and Moylan, with the help of a caught stealing, faces just 3 men here in the 5th inning. Royals lead at 3-2. Presented by Delta Airlines. As you get a look at the Peoria Sports Complex, at the main practice field in the center of your screen, and then right on top of that is the stadium. That's where we are right now. Mariners Complex is on the left-hand side. You see the building on the left, and then on the right-hand side is where the Padres are. It's one of the real fine complexes in all of baseball.
The guys are able to get a lot of work in when you see all those fields. All of them are just in perfect shape.
Mm-hmm. And part of the ritual of spring training, when you leave the ball game, when you're way outside, a few autographs. They're waiting for you. This is Cody Decker fouling one off, 1-1. Cody today. Strikeout, a walk, and a run scored. He's the 5 men in the order, followed by Travis Snyder and Raymond Fuentes.
And Scott Service stretching out Cody Martin. This will be his 3rd inning of work. Getting an opportunity to throw a number of pitches. And you're right, Dave. I think he's really made a concentrated effort to work on his breaking ball today. A lot of curveballs from Cody this afternoon.
1 away. And let's check in with Brad Adam in the studio.
Well, Dave, thank you. All eyes early this morning on a backfield in Peoria. King Felix throwing a simulated game, our Lexus pitching matchup. You can say that it went pretty well. 29 pitches over 2 innings, 4 strikeouts, a walk. He's going to make his Cactus League debut on Monday against the Rockies. A game you can see right here on Root Sports at 1 p.m. Pacific. What I like best about this guy is the minor leaguer who took him deep in a live BP session, Tyler O'Neill. Felix came back to strike him out today.
You know what?
You got to like that. The competitiveness.
I'm not surprised. And that happened about a week or so ago. And a lot of observers said that when O'Neill hit the ball, he said, got him. And he later denied it. But a lot of people said, no, we heard that. Felix shook it off. So I would have loved to have been down there when he came up today. Hey, son, you're looking at a Hall of Famer here, pal. Take it easy.
Who's just getting his work in.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't get too excited. Although I can't blame him, really.
No, but
I'm not sure I would have said anything about it, but I'm pretty excited about the home run.
I absolutely be excited. Maybe going to that cone of silence or something, and you could say it, but you don't want to say it. The guy's going to Hall of Fame. He's one of the stud pitchers in the game. Sampson warming up for the Mariners. Adrian Sampson. He was on the Cactus League report a couple of Mondays ago. Young man from the state of Washington. An 0-2 count here to another Washington State native. Mill Creek's Travis Snyder. 1 for 2 today. Three runs, 6 hits, an error for Kansas City. 2 runs, 2 hits for the Mariners. It's out of play. Be on the air again with you tomorrow here on TV. 12:10 start time. The Chicago Cubs will be in town. Bouncing ball goes foul. They bring all their big boys tomorrow. I want to see that Schwarber kid swing the bat. Chris Bryant. Matt, right fielder Hayward, bring him in. And how about, were you surprised they got that Fowler re-upped with them?
I was surprised, just because, I mean, you're talking, they're going to have to bring some of them just because they're so deep. They have so many guys that they're trying to get at bats for. But I was surprised to see Dexter back. Yeah.
Brad mentioned John Lester will get the start tomorrow. He'll go against Wade Miley. Cody Martin with Atlanta and Oakland last year. He's got a 2-2 count. What's got you most intrigued as we head into this new season?
Most intrigued. The speed that we've seen so far from the Mariners. I want to see how that's going to work when the season starts. I'm really looking forward to watching Martin play center field at Safeco Field. I think the fans are really going to enjoy watching him cover a lot of ground. Where the number 5 starter is going to be. We've seen Paxton a couple times. We'll see him again on Saturday. Nate Karns in the mix, of course.
Pitching coach Mel Stoudemire, like Karns yesterday, 3 innings, a 5-hit, 2-run ball, 1 earned run, no walks, no strikeouts. Anything in particular in the American League you're looking forward to seeing?
The one thing that a lot of people have talked about is Karns gets a strikeout there. Good fastball on the outside corner, and I have a hard time agreeing with everybody, but everybody seems to be sleeping on Oakland, and for some reason it seems when you get to that point they end up causing problems. I mean, everybody knows about Houston and the young talent that they have, what Texas was able to do last year, and they're going to be difficult again because it looks as if they have a number of guys that are healthy. But it's going to be a fun division to watch and see how many wins it's going to take. I believe Texas won the division with, what, 88 wins last year.
They're super competitive again. I'm curious to see what the Angels can do if Albert Pujols can stay healthy. What kind of pitching they're going to get. And offensively, we won't get to see Eric Ibar anymore. Simmons is a great Andrelton Simmons is a great fielder. Hitting wise, what's he bringing to you?
We'll see. He brings some speed, that's for sure. And you mentioned it. Defensively, there's no issues there. He's one of the best in the business.
2 strikes to Fuentes. One and 2. Rangers 88 wins last year. Kansas City 95. Toronto 93. Jay Happ went back to Toronto during the offseason. Yankees back into their bullpen once big left-hander comes back after the 30-day suspension, you better get the Yankee starters very early. You don't want to be digging into that bullpen too deep.
Well, we saw that a lot with Kansas City over the last couple of years in the depth of their bullpen and the power arms that they have. They could shorten up a game.
Minnesota had a heck of a year, 83 wins. I don't think anybody expected that. Mariners stay healthy. They might be able to do some things. Get that bullpen together. Swing and a miss. Fuentes is gone. So are the Royals. We go to the home sixth here in Peoria, Kansas City. Defending world champions lead at 3-2.
Brought to you by Delta Airlines. Keep climbing. Beautiful day in Peoria, of course. Here it's a little dreary, but inside we're all bright because of our new studio. Welcome back. It's Brad, Bill, and Dave. We'll get back out to the game in just a second. But while Dave and Mike Blowers in Peoria are talking about the starting rotation, let's kind of pick up the conversation. We know that Walker today, Miley tomorrow. You got Felix Hernandez making his debut Monday on Root Sports. So 6 guys, 5 spots. Bill, do you know how it all shakes out now? Do you have any idea?
Well,
Does Scott Service have any idea?
Well, I think he's got a pretty good idea. I think you can pretty much use ink with the big horse at the top, Felix Hernandez. Iwakuma, scraping him back away from the Dodgers is fantastic. Wade Miley, he's under contract, the left-hander that's going to give you 200 innings. And then the battles begin. Walker looked awfully good today. Certainly you've got Carnes they got from Tampa Bay, and James Paxton trying to return from lots of injury problems. That's where the real battle, I think, is going to be played out, is between Carnes and Paxton.
So, Dave, let me ask you, does Scott Service make his decision solely on spring training results? Does he think back? Is there history involved? Or how does a manager make a decision on a rotation spot?
I think as spring training starts to play out, if there's any injuries, that may have a factor. The fact that you have 6 guys who are capable of starting is a very strong point for this ball club. But I love the fact that there is competition in this rotation. I think this rotation is stronger than it was last year. Bill mentioned getting Iwakuma back. The Mariners know Iwakuma. They know his body, his physicality. The issues that maybe the Dodgers raised the red flag, the Mariners knew about, and they know that what this guy can do when he's pitching and when he's healthy. So I just like the fact that there's competition, and I think James Paxton may need a little bit of that type of push. In the last couple of years, it was his to lose. Right now, he's got to go out there and perform, and if he does that, I think he'll have a good chance of being that 5th guy.
Perform and show he can stay healthy, no doubt. Let's get back to Dave and Mike talking hitters now with Kyle Seager.
Absolutely. Thanks, fellas. Kyle Seager facing off against veteran left-hander John Lennon, whose 8-year career has taken him to Washington, Philly, and New York. Sounds like he's northbound on Amtrak.
Had a chance to talk to James Paxton this morning. Down 20 pounds, Dave. He's lost 20 pounds. He looks really good.
You know, it was interesting with Paxton. Remember that nail came off last year and everything? So I said, dude, do you go to some ladies and get a manicure? He says, nope. He said, I stopped putting paraffin on the nail because that softened it up and that helped it come off. He says, now I don't even clip nails. I only file them because he doesn't want to have, put it in there and you can cut yourself. So he said he's being super cautious. He's obviously excited about being back. But, he wants to get his 25, 35 starts. Perfect world.
Well, he's also aware of the fact that he's competing for a job this time around.
And And that's some fierce competition.
Yeah.
Seager with an RBI single, right field last time, 1 for 2. Right, great call. John Lennon was a starter for Washington back in 08, 09, and 10. Everybody, every Monday, experience the greatest Mariners moments from last season with Mariners Mondays. Tune in this week, 10 p.m. Pacific. The King takes on some of the best. For your local programming schedule, visit rootsports.com. Quick 2 outs here in the 6th. Here's Cano. Puts it in play to the shortstop. Escobar boots it. 2-out base runner for the Mariners. He's 6.
We'll take a look at it. Ramon Torres giving a little bit of ground out at shortstop. Probably been better off if he was more aggressive, and ball just eats him up.
Benji Gonzalez will pinch hit for Cano. Robbie's day is over. Stephan Romero make his first appearance. He's batting in a 4-hole vacated by Cruz, who went 0 for 2. Good spring for Romero, 5 for 9. He's got a home run. He's driven in a couple. So he popped up, out of play. Romero got in yesterday's game, popped up with the bases loaded in the 8th inning, the 4-3 Cleveland win at Goodyear. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Fights it off, foul ball. We're talking about the division earlier with Houston. I'm talking to a bunch of people. They were saying it'll be interesting to watch Houston to see how they perform with expectations now. They had a heck of a year last year, made the playoffs. A lot of young guys. They were trying to establish a name for themselves last year, which they clearly did. But now, hey, boys, you're supposed to do this now.
Well, they'll have Correa
right?
all year.
Yeah, that helps.
That would help.
They added Giles to the bullpen, which would be a plus for him as well. Runner goes and in safely. Benji Gonzalez.
Well, we talked about how aggressive the Mariners have been this spring, and Benji Gonzalez gets a stolen base. Taking off on the first move from the left-hander.
It's his second. He's 2 for 2 in the spring. Count to Romero is 2-2. Host of changes for Kansas City. Torres at short, or O'Hearn at first. At second is Merrifield. Right field Martinez. Scalera in left, and Tony Cruz behind the plate. And Gonzalez play in front of him. Scoots over to third. Be a wild pitch. A tying run 90 feet away. See if Romero can come up big here. 3-2 the count. 2 down. Payoff pitch from Lanning. Line drive into the gap. That'll be extra bases. Tied ball game. Stephan Romero's hot spring continues. RBI double ties the score. 3-3. Boy, he feels good about that, because yesterday he came up late in the game First pitch swinging, bases loaded, chance to get the lead, and popped it straight up. This time he lines it into the gap.
And it looks as if he gets an off-speed pitch, maybe a changeup up out over the plate. Able to keep his hands back long enough and drive it into the gap out in left center field. Had to foul off a number of pitches in that at-bat to get it to 3-2 and takes advantage of it.
Here's Ed Lucas. Eddie with a base hit left field. Here comes Romero with good speed. He'll score easily. Mariners have the lead at 4-3. So Eddie Lucas coming up big with his second RBI of the season, of the spring, and his fourth base hit.
Yeah, he was aggressive. We saw Romero saw a number of pitches in his at bat, but trying to get a cutter in on his hands. See him really pull his hands in tight to his body, fighting to get the barrel to it. So a good piece of hitting from Lucas.
Mariners have the lead. That's a satisfied hitting coach, like what he's seen the last couple of hitters. Here's Montero. Jesus, the sixth man to the plate here in the sixth inning. They can still get that loop in his swing, which causes him to be late a lot of times.
One of the things that he has done here early in spring training, and I think that at times at the big league level, he's trying to pull the ball too much. In this spring, he's off to a pretty good start, but hitting the ball the other way, and he's made some outs hitting the ball hard towards right field. So maybe early on he's just trying to let the ball travel.
Torres goes short way, and that'll do it for the Mariners, but they take the lead. 2 runs on 2 hits, an error, and a man left on. It's a 4-3 Seattle lead. Look at the Vermilion Cliffs here in scenic Arizona. It's the northern part of the state. Absolutely gorgeous. Remember taking a visit with the family to the Grand Canyon not too long ago, and that is one thing to see it National Geographic and another thing to see it on TV. When you're there, it is, I mean, you're just speechless. Sampson's first pitch lined into center field for a base hit. No addition to the sports stadium here, the sports complex here in Peoria.
We continue to make improvements here at this ballpark. They had a bunch of them last year, and that
pavilion last year. Now this edition, premium seating. One-run ball game. Outside from Aaron Sampson, 6'2", 210 out of Redmond, Washington. Lives in Sammamish. With Tacoma last year, 2-4 with a 7.28 ERA in 7 games prior to that. AAA Indianapolis, 8-8 with a 3.98. 21 starts. Runner holds. Sampson trying to make an impression here. It's Tony Cruz, the catcher. Double play opportunity. And they turn it nicely. Smith Gonzalez, the day-hole lead.
And that's what you like to see. Sampson falling behind, but able to get the ground ball. And as Dave mentioned, routine. Turn by Gonzalez at second base. You had a pretty good two-seamer there. A nice little sinker to get the ground ball.
Brings up Torres, the shortstop. Ramon Torres, switch hitter. Goes to the strike. Sampson going right after him. Good pitch, 0-2. Ground ball. G. Gonzalez on the scene. Double play, big part of that inning. Successful inning for Sampson as the Mariners have a 4-3 lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th.
Presented by Delta Airlines. Mariners have that 4-3 lead heading to the bottom of the 7th inning. Still plenty of time for you to get on our air. That's right. Join the broadcast. Hashtag Where I Root like Dan did all the way from Australia. Look at that. Little Princess Tutu looking great with the Mariners hat. Send us your photos and a good chance to get on our air. A couple of more innings to go. Hashtag Where I Root. Instagram, Facebook. Get involved, get on the air, and enjoy it. It's, I know, the first one of 16, but you might as well get used to it, get into practice of telling us where you're rooting from and getting a chance to get on air like these fans out there on the berm, guys.
All right, Brad, thank you. Good to hear from fans in Australia. Good stuff. Ronnie Nina takes over on the mound for Kansas City. Steve LaRue, the catcher, took over for Iannetta, batting in the 7-hole. The bottom third of the order for the Mariners. Gabby Sanchez is on deck. Ball 2 strikes. Nina out of the Dominican Republic, 25 years old. Been in the Royals organization since '08. Last year with Northwest Arkansas, 4-4. Steve LaRue fouls it off. Steve with AAA Syracuse a year ago, 238. 2 homers, 23 runs batted in. Two and two the count. Like 3 cold. LaRue goes down looking. Mariners 10-game flex packs. They're on sale right now. Choose from a great selection of events, including Ken Griffey Jr. weekend, Star Wars weekend, plus big matchups against the Yankees, Red Sox, and the Cardinals. Packs start at just $120. They're available right now at mariners.com/flex. Gabby Sanchez 0 for 2 today. Had a couple good years with Florida, hitting 19 home runs back-to-back seasons. Oh, 2 to Sanchez. Trying to make the team as a right-handed portion of the platoon at first base, backing up, playing with Adam Lind, who does great damage against right-hand pitching. Adam getting the day off. Two and 2. Mariners got 2 runs in the 3rd, 2 in the 6th. Romero and Lucas drove in runs, and here's Gabby Sanchez checking in with a base hit. Gabby 1 for 3.
A lot of times when you mentioned Sanchez in there with Montero, we mentioned Romero, guys fighting to get that job, the right-hander off the bench, and most of the time you can figure out who the favorite is. I don't think that's the case in camp this year, Dave. I think all those guys have a real chance to make this club.
Horses have not gotten to the top of the stretch yet.
Exactly.
Sanchez with his 3rd hit. Daniel Robertson, he is very likely to take off. He has been a ball of energy. He's asking Scott Service about him today, and he said that he was familiar with him being with the Angels last year. Said Robertson bulked up a little bit. He's not the biggest guy, the tallest guy. Bulked up a little bit, was trying to hit a lot of home runs. Now put it in play, run like crazy.
And Scott put it back to the player that he is, right?
With a little twinkle in his eye, wouldn't you say?
Use that speed.
And Robertson coming in 6 for 11, swinging a bat. 6 hits, the most on the club. He's got 3 runs knocked in, 2 triples, 2 doubles. Let's see if Martin can get him going. Both of these guys can really fly. Good count here. by a strike, 1-2. Robertson back safely. Way outside. Leonys Martin, quality center fielder. He's going to enjoy roaming the expanse of Safeco Field. Runner goes, breaking ball, hit off the glove of the first baseman. He's got one play, and he'll keep it right there. That's O'Hearn. So 2 outs, runner at second.
And a good at bat for Martin. Hit the ball hard. Looked like a breaking ball. Was able to stay on it as Robertson moves down to second.
Bring up Tyler Smith. Batting at the top of the order, taking the place of Marte. Look out. Tyler Smith, a .364 hitter this spring, 4 for 11. One of his hits a double. RBI possibility for him. Runner at second, Robertson with good speed. Two-no. Programming note, we're on tomorrow, 12:10 Seattle time. It'll be on Saturday. Monday, Felix makes his first spring start. Monday afternoon against Colorado right here. It'll be a 1 o'clock start because we get to daylight savings time starting this weekend. So Tyler Smith works a walk. Runners at first and second for Chris Taylor, his first at bat today.
Taylor also in the mix. Scott Service was telling me this morning that he wants to see Taylor and Sardinas both play a little bit of first base too, just in case. Seeing Taylor playing quite a bit of third here on the early going of spring.
Good opportunity for him. Looks at a strike. Taylor on to spring 3 for 9. Including a double. He's driven in 2. One and one. Before he got hurt last year, he had the edge on winning that shortstop job, and then he got hit in the hand and that knocked him out from there, and Brad Miller wound up getting the job. Visit from Doug Henry, pitching coach.
Former reliever. I remember him with the Brewers. Hard throwing right-hander.
You got it done in under 30 seconds. Good job. Everybody's on notice.
I wonder if they're watching the clock when they're talking to the pitcher.
You know, I think the last couple of visits, I think Mel had his, you know, he wasn't facing it, but Doug certainly was looking at the clock up there. And the umpire, as soon as the catcher went out, the umpire was practically chasing him out there. It's happened about 3 times today. Up the middle. Backhand. Here's a throw. Just got him. Nice play by Merrifield. That'll end the Mariner threat. No runs, a hit, no errors, 2 left. This looked like there was an opportunity to score a run, but Merrifield makes a fine play. Mariners still lead 4-3.
Last time we were talking, gentlemen, the good, what we like most about spring training from your playing days. Now, Val, we'll start with the negative side. What did you not like? We like gear, we like sun. What did you not like?
There's not a lot of things that are bad about spring training, but for 17 years I was in Arizona. And the first year I played with the Boston Red Sox, I ended up playing in the very first game. You're going to appreciate this. So I look up at the board and it says bus at 5:45. We had to go all the way up to Clearwater. So that was about a 5-hour drive. I didn't get home that night till midnight. And that was the worst part, was being in Florida spring training and having to make those long bus rides to Clearwater and all the way back to Dunedin and all those different places. Not fun.
All right, well, we'll go quickly to Peoria, just like that. Talk to Mr. Blowers. Look at that. Look how fast that was. So, Blow, is it bad bus rides for you, too, or something different that you did not like about spring?
Well, it's one of the reasons why I like Arizona, that everybody's fairly close. A couple of things for you, Brad. One of them, the one spring, I believe it was in '93, when I had to basically be Dave Valley's caddy and go down and catch all of his bullpens. Hated that. Didn't like that at all. As an infielder, I don't know how many times you can go over bunt plays before you start to lose your mind. I hated going over all the fundamentals in the morning. That would get old pretty quickly. And then probably the last thing, down here in Arizona, because the weather is terrific, and you really can't do anything about it, but the infield just gets baked, and it gets hard as a rock, especially later in the day, and you get some pretty bad hops. So those are probably the 3 things. The worst by far, though, caddying for Val.
Which now I have to do.
I appreciated it, though, Bo. I really appreciated it.
And I like what you were saying earlier about breaking in your glove. I like the whole thing. Put the 2 baseballs in there, dunk it in the hot tub. But then it was me playing catch with it for a week, and then hand it back to you.
If you see a KC with an extra base hit, why not go for 3? Going to get in there. All right, Mr. Kruger. If he stays at third, I guess PFP's top of your list?
You know, that was okay. It kind of depended on, how emphasized it was, okay? Sort of like what Mike Blowers was getting after. But for me, shagging is kind of a big bugaboo. In our day, we did all the shagging. In today's day, they're ordering their specialty sandwich after about 45 minutes. So life's a little bit better for these guys, a little more entitled. But I was thinking about trips, too, Val. You probably got to know Alligator Alley. Probably made the crossed trip as well. But, when we played in Arizona, the one trip that everybody dreaded was Tucson. So I think probably the 3 of us would agree on Tucson, I would say.
And that was nothing compared to Florida. That was only 2 hours.
Well, we complained about it here, for Arizona.
Because it was the longest, no doubt about that. I don't think they have any teams in Tucson anymore, do they?
I think all of them have moved up. Finally figured it out. The best way to have spring training is have it all up there right in the valley.
Makes everything so easy. And for fans as well. I mean, it's a nice bonus for fans to go, not just see the Mariners, but see other teams around the area. Within a half hour, there's 15 different stadiums you can go to. As we go back to Dave and Mike. Picking up action, guys, top of 8. Good to be there for you guys, I know that.
Oh, you know it, fellas, and good to hear your voices. Look forward to seeing you guys when we get back home. I've heard so much about this in '93, Mike. All your spring training games are on the road. That was not a lot of laughs.
No, we showed the pictures throughout the telecast, and you could see all the practice fields, but that's all we had. We did not have this stadium in '93, the first year that we were in Peoria after we left Tempe. And so it was a lot of road trips. And, you know, thinking back at the time, being a player, I was happy just to get an opportunity to play, end up making the ball club in '93. But I have to think for the manager and the coaching staff trying to get everybody their innings and playing time. Pretty good slider right there by Sampson on the outside corner to get a strikeout, but it had to be difficult for them to get all the work in for the guys.
Oh, without a doubt. There was a time there, I remember Dave Niehaus telling me about times where the club had to go to Yuma.
I made that trip.
How far are we talking?
Too far, I can tell you that.
So that
was when we were still in Tempe.
Yeah. Ball one to Ryan O'Hearn, first baseman. Infield up close to cut off this run. And ball gets away. And we got a tie ball game. Pass ball.
So if this is on a breaking ball, he thought it was going to go in the dirt. He actually would look like he would have been able to catch it. So that will be a pass ball.
One out, a run in, 4-4 ball game, top of the 8th. Struggling, 3-1. Beg your pardon, 2-2. Beg your pardon. It's going to get down. Foul ball. Happy little guys. 2-2 pitch. Boy, hung it. Paid for it. Base hit. Make sure you join us this summer for what will be one of the biggest events in Mariners history, when Hall of Famer Ken Griffey Jr. has his number retired. Now you can guarantee yourself a seat to this can't-miss event when you purchase a 20-game plan or a 10-game flex pack. Visit Mariners.com/Griffey for more info. Well, I hope the Hall of Famer will be able to make it out here at spring training. I had a chance to see him in New York, he and his dad, when they had after the announcement, and then they had the news conference in New York City at the New York Athletic Club with Mike Piazza. And that was a lot of fun, man. That was a lot of joy in that family. As happy as I was for Junior, as a dad myself, I was enjoying watching Senior watch Junior do everything. And that man that was just a great look on his face, like he just beamed for 2 hours, man. It was great.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. And I'm sure that we'll see Junior here at spring training at some point. He usually will stop in for a few days.
Well, he's got 2 kids at the University of Arizona. His son, wide out in the football team, and his daughter, point guard. So I fully expect at some point, if I know Junior, he'll sync it up with spring practice. Finally gonna retire his number 24. You as an ex-player, you must love the fact that, here it is, you played with one of the greatest players of all time. Number 6 all time in home runs?
You bet.
How cool is that?
That's great.
Special consultant to the franchise. So talk about the ultimate green light.
Yeah.
Stop by whenever you want.
Well, he earned it. I don't think anybody's going to argue about it, but you're absolutely right. And at the time when you're a player and having the opportunity to be on a number of teams with Junior and watch him go about his business every day, I think sometimes you take it for granted because you're so busy trying to take care of your own business. But, now that it's been a while and I get a chance to reflect back on it, it was an honor to be on the field with him and watch him do his thing every day.
I interviewed
Best
him.
player I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah, I hear you. I'm still amazed, guy, but Junior's right there, man. We interviewed him at a show I've been doing for about 11, 12 years with Coach K. Coach K is a big baseball fan. Duke, Mike Krzyzewski, basketball coach, Hall of Famer. And it was just fun listening to him interview Junior. And it was fascinating. Junior told him stuff about how he put a cage in his backyard, and he would take a lot of his BP at 1 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning because he doesn't sleep a heck of a lot. There's a strikeout. He said, people didn't have to see me work, but I put in tons of work away from the ballpark that a lot of folks didn't see.
Well, and the other part to that, too, as a teammate of his, I know that we have a lot of early batting practice, so well before the regular batting practice, he was always at that.
12, 1 o'clock?
Yeah. On the road, at home, whatever, he would come out for the early batting practice, so we didn't get to see him do that. That's one of the things, and I'll talk to him and tell him, too, that it used to bug me because what was he doing out for the early batting practice? I needed the swings. He didn't.
You're taking time away from me, pal. The other thing, one of the things he told Coach K, he said, because Mike asked him something about playing defense, why did you play defense so hard? And he talked about pride. He grew up in the game. He said, and the other thing is the center fielder said, everything hit to me is fair. I got to go get it.
Yeah, that's a great point. And he did.
It's we've been doing that show with Sirius XM for 11 years, and we have people from not only just basketball but all the sports, and it's so funny when you get somebody at that level, as Mike Krzyzewski's level, you get Junior's level, and hear those type of guys talk to each other, and they're in awe of each other. And I'm just sitting back like, man, this is really cool.
Yeah, that's a good day at the office for you right there.
Right, being a fly on the wall.
Right.
Matter of fact, some of the conversations we've had, you'll never believe this. Bill Belichick is a funny guy. He is. The look in your face. Seriously, he and Mike are breaking chops. They have fun. They trade. You can hear them. They trade theories back and forth.
Oh, really?
And Nick Saban actually we got a laugh at it. He said something funny once. In a wild pitch. And Sampson had a good first inning, his seventh. In the seventh inning, gave up a base hit, got a double play, got a ground out, got out of it, but a struggle here.
I was thinking about it. You were talking about Junior and try to catch everything because everything's fair being in center field.
Right.
And I think that's one of the other things. Probably a lot of pressure on somebody like Rick Griffin, the trainer, when Junior would have some issues, because I know that Lou talked to him a few times about not running into a wall and all of that. And Junior, his attitude was, if I can catch it, I'm going to try to catch it. So you had to make sure he was completely healthy before you put him back out there again.
Good point. Four ball games we play here in the bottom of the eighth, top of the eighth, beg your pardon. Sampson with a strike. Yeah, you look at Junior's numbers and all the home runs he had. Was it 630? He missed so many games. I mean, he had hit 700 easily without some of those major injuries he had.
Yeah.
Ground ball stays fair. Make that foul. This is third base umpire Mike Everett. Counted 1 and 2, 2 outs. Runners at first and second for Kansas City. Sampson trying to end it right here. Two balls, two strikes. Had Jeff Idelson on the other day on radio, president of the Hall of Fame. They bet all the hotel rooms and everything are sold out, but they expect a huge Mariner contingent up at Cooperstown later on this summer. It's going to be a great moment. And good for Mike Piazza. You played with him briefly with the Dodgers, right?
Teammate of mine with the Dodgers, yeah.
Swing and a miss. Damage done, a pass ball. Ties the game at 4-4 as we go to the home eighth. Mariners spring training presented by Delta Airlines.
New set. It's our Ford Sports Desk, and we want to let you know that you can join us for Sounders FC All Access only on Root Sports. We take you behind the scenes, giving you unprecedented access to the players and coaches that are shaping the future of soccer in the Emerald City. Visit rootsports.com for your local show times. It's a nice shot right there, Bennett, just like Beckham. As we get out to Peoria, bottom 8, we're still tied, gentlemen.
Yes, indeed. Brooks Pounders takes over on the mound for Kansas City. As you look at Brian Gonzalez.
Might work.
Very well might. Good speed, base hit. Talked about that speed element in the open of the program. And about the last 4 games, the productivity at the bottom of the order has been outstanding.
Well, he wasn't trying to bunt this in the air. He just wanted to take it towards the first baseman, pops it up. But as soon as you saw that it was going to hit on the infield grass, it was going to be tough to get him as he beats it out for an infield hit.
Benji Gonzalez aboard. Bunt single. Brings up Stephan Romero.
Romero with a double and an RBI his first time up. Also scored a run. It's off to a great start this spring.
Just joining us, Nelson Cruz played today, went 0 for 2. Cano went 0 for 2. Seager went 1 for 2. Felix had a good sim game earlier against a minor leaguer, so that was good. He'll make his first start on Monday here. We'll have that for you on Root Sports. That'll be against the Rockies. Benji Gonzalez has a stolen base so far in the spring. Romero caught in between, 1-1.
Right, I think it's up to the. Especially the Kansas City squad.
Good take by Romero, 2-1. Romero drove in a run with a double in the 6th. Ed Lucas, he's on deck. He drove in a run in the 6th as well. Back on the air with you tomorrow. TV side here. 12:10 Seattle time. Dodgers in town, and the Cubs rather. Dodgers on Saturday. So you look at Dae-Ho Lee hoping to get a chance to swing the bat this inning. So 2 years ago, Stephen Romero hit a big early season home run on the road in Atlanta. Mariners took 2 games down there. Catcher can't find it. Benji Gonzalez moves up to second base.
Was that a pinch hit home run?
I believe it was late in the game, like 7th, 8th inning. John Buck had a big spot in that game.
Hit it out to left center field. I think it was a pinch hit home run.
I think it was too. It was like 7th or 8th inning. Well, Romero can put the Mariners ahead with a base hit. Lucas on deck, pitch, fouled it off. Benji Gonzalez at second. Boy, that's hit. Deep left center field. Going back to make the catch, the center fielder Merrifield. And Gonzalez will hold it third. Good ride there by Stephen Romero. Good ride.
Yeah, he really did. Takes it right up against the fence in left center field. Looked like he was out in front of a breaking ball just a little bit. Now it's a difference. Nice job by Gonzalez to tag up and move over to third with just 1 out now. So an opportunity for Lucas to give Mariners the lead.
Eibner out there making the catch. Well, this is where they had a lot of fun last week and before the game started. Team Cruz against Team Cano, situational hitting. Team Cano won the ball game, and that's going to get the job done and then some. Driven all the way, a one-hopper over the fence onto the berm, an RBI double. And the Mariners have a 5-4 lead. Ed Lucas having a heck of an afternoon. His second RBI today. Nicely done.
Well, the Royals had the infield in, so he was looking for a fastball out over the plate, something that he could get elevated, and that's exactly what happens. You take a look at this fastball, probably mid-thigh high, and he gives it a good ride as it bounces off the warning track. Ground rule double.
Ed Lucas put the Mariners ahead now 5-4. There's Dae-Ho Lee. Another candidate at first base, the right-hand platoon. He homered a couple of days ago here in Peoria. Look at where this baby went.
He gets a fastball from a left-hander, 85 miles an hour.
There's a guy that 16 years playing in Japan and Korea, hit 323 home runs, drove in 1,157 runs. And he's going to pick up an RBI here. Center field, here comes Lucas, he'll score. And the Mariners have a 6-4 lead. Dae-Ho Lee with an RBI single. So Lee, who showed some efficiency and proficiency in the pool table in the clubhouse today, comes up with his second RBI, his third hit of the spring.
One of the things that everybody talked to Scott Service about is the first few days he was seeing a lot of breaking balls, and that's what happens right here. A little slider right in the outside corner, but he was able to stay on it and drive it right back up the middle to pick up the RBI. So a good adjustment by Lee.
2-run lead, looking for more. Steve LaRue, the catcher. Dae-Ho Lee, certainly no newcomer. I mean, he's 33 years old. He's got a lot of experience, been a pro in over Japan dating back to 2001. Off the end of the bat, little squibber. Throw him out for out number 2. Lee to second base.
Pisano going to get a chance to hit.
Dario Pisano. Pisano hitting .250 on the spring. He's 2 for 8. Looking for his first RBI. Young man from Boston. Takes a look at a strike, 1-1. That gets away, and Dae-Ho Lee will get the third. A wild pitch. Dae-Ho Lee, big man, 6'4". Listed him about 260. He was down from about 280. He hit a lot of home runs in his career. Pisano trying to pick him up with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Ball, first baseman boots it. Pisano is safe, run scored. 7-4 Mariners, E3.
So the wild pitch and then the error helps. There's now a 3-run lead.
So Sardinius with a chance to do something here as well. Keep the inning going with 2 outs. Be the 7th man to the plate. Slaps it foul. Good numbers for Sardinius coming into today's ball game. 467, 7 for 15. 7 hits, most on the ball club. 10 total bases, second to Daniel Robertson. Broken bat off the pitcher's glove. And they just get him 1-4-3, but the Mariners get a couple of runs on the board here. Extend the lead to 7-4. Back with more after this.
Sports Desk, Brad Adam with you on a brand new set. Still feeling and looking. Got the new set smell. A pair of lefties taking the mound tomorrow on Root Sports. Former Bellarmine Prep star John Lester going for the Cubs, while Wade Miley in that beard making his second turn for the Mariners. Our coverage from the Peoria Sports Complex starts at noon Pacific. And then on Monday, watch as Felix Hernandez making his Cactus League debut against the Colorado Rockies. Also right here on Root Sports. That game, 1 o'clock. As a spring forward, daylight savings time, as Dave mentioned. You guys not going to forget that, right, this weekend?
Never forget that. Don't forget, here in Arizona, they don't change. Stay on. We'll be even at Mountain Standard Time all year. Jonathan Aro on the mound now, looking to close things down. 1-1 to Hunter Dozier. Breaking ball for strike. Two and two. Third appearance for Jonathan Aro. Pitch back 4 days ago. This one driven into left field. Dozier with his second hit today. And he's got a leadoff double here in the ninth. So leadoff man's aboard. That'll bring up catcher Tony Cruz batting in the 9-hole. He's 0 for 1, bounced into a double play in the 7th. He took over for starter Drew Butera, who had a heck of a day with a home run and a single. 2 runs batted in. TV action tomorrow. TV on Saturday against the Dodgers. Will be our first night broadcast. Some foul back. Chris Taylor holds the runner at second, throws out Cruz, one away. Good look at the stadium here, the Peoria Sports Complex. Good crowd on hand. They called it 5,921.
Cooled off down here a couple of days ago. It was really windy and temperatures dropped, but it looks like things are moving in the right direction again. I think we're supposed to be back in the 80s tomorrow.
Slicing drive left field. Have to play it on a hop, base hit. It's Torres with the base hit. Double play can end it right here for the Mariners. With Merrifield the hitter. One out, runners at the corners. Breaking ball misses from Morrow. Morrow, 6 foot 235 out of La Vega in the Dominican Republic. With Boston last year, 6 games, 0-1, a 6.97 ERA. Came over in the Wade Miley trade. It's a trade that sent Carson Smith and Roenis Elias to Boston on December 7th. Comes a 2-0 pitch. Fly ball right center field. Center fielder making a play at Sardinius. Ronald score. Make it 7-5 ball game. They're 2 outs. Sacrifice fly and RBI. The 2 outs. Brings up Brett Eibner. Tying run at the plate. Woof. Plastics, a good thing. Corey Toops is on deck. Crowded and missed. 1-1. Morrow with the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball hit to the shortstop. Tyler Smith flipped to second baseman for the out. That's your ball game. Mariners win 7-5, knocking off the defending world champion Kansas City Royals. Split squad action.
Really good outing for Taijuan Walker today. That was nice to see. He went 3 innings, had 5 strikeouts over the 3 innings. He did give up the 1 solo home run on a first pitch fastball, but overall, I thought Taijuan was much better today than he was in his first outing.
So the Mariners win on our first telecast of 2016, 7-5. Mariners run the record to 4-4. Kansas City drops to 3-6. Quick review for you. Here's how things materialized during the course of this afternoon. Drew Butera leading off the second inning. He launches one here over the yellow stripe onto the batter's eye. That's a home run. Early lead for Kansas City. How about Ketel Marte? Marte here gets the job done. A sac fly. Scores a run. And then the next hitter is Kyle Seager.
And we hope to see a lot of this year. Kyle Seager off to a pretty good start this spring. Already a home run, but that'll be a base hit to drive in a run as Martin scores.
At that point, after 3, it's 2-1 Mariners, but top of the 4th, Kansas City comes right back. Fuentes, he delivers. It's an RBI single. And then Butera again, solid smash up the middle on a 3-2 pitch. So that's 2 more runs on the board, and the Royals back in front 3-2. Take you to the home 6 and Stephen Romero. Boy, he's looked good here, Mike.
Yeah, he's probably the hottest hitter the Mariners have had. Gets an off-speed pitch and hits it hard into the gap out in left center field. And that will drive in a run.
And the next hitter is Ed Lucas, and he doesn't wait around. He singles to left. The Mariners have a 4-3 lead. 8th inning, wild pitch proves costly. This ties the game at 4-4, top of the 8th. But then there's that man, Ed Lucas, bottom 8. Comes up big once again with the double. Bounces it over the fence onto the berm for a ground rule double. And then Daeho Lee will score on an error by the third. He comes up with a base hit. And that drives in a run. And that's your scoring for this afternoon. So that's our story here in Peoria. 7-5 win for the Mariners. For Mike Blowers, I'm Dave Sims. We're sending back to Brad, Adam, and the fellas back in our studio.